Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, August 31st, 7:18 in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast. This is your news show. Fitz is here, and we're ready to go. Fitz, how's it going? How's your week?
Hey. Don't throw around accusations like I'm here. Okay, there's no real proof of that. There's no proof any of us are really here. Okay, so just slow down with that. Second of all, I worked so many fucking hours this week, I don't even know my own name anymore, so...
Well, happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Day indeed. It couldn't have come at a better time. But, you know, the big giant project that we have going on at work, it's coming to fruition. A lot of people did a lot of work on it, and I'm proud of every one of them. So it's it feels good, but I'm just freaking exhausted. So, but I you know what? You're right. I am here. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm glad you're here. I know neither one of us feel very prepared for tonight, but you know what? Our goal tonight is to make sure that the listeners have no clue how truly unprepared we are.
That's right. That's right. There will be no showing of the strings that are attached, the pulling of a rabbit out of the hat, none of that stuff. You guys aren't going to see any of it. Nobody behind the scenes. There won't be anybody behind the stage making sure the props come out. You won't see the mic boom drop into frame. None of that stuff, because we're gonna fucking play our A game, right? That's what we do.
It's gonna be seamless, dude. Seamless. It's already seamless. I mean, listen to this banter. This is witty and fun, and right. Look at us go. You're so cute.
Yeah, we're adorable. We're fucking adorable. That's what we are. That's
oh God.
I want somebody to go out and slap that into our comments on Apple and just say we're fucking adorable.
These guys are cute.
They're adorable. Well, I do want to say congratulations, because when you originally took this position, you were super stoked to be getting to build a program, actually open a new building. I mean, this was like monumental stuff that you'll be able to look back on in 20 years, and you'll be having kids coming back to work in your program, and you'll be the first one to open that building. So congratulations, dude. That's a phenomenal accomplishment. You should feel very proud of yourself.
Thanks. I do. I actually do. It's not, there's no ego in it. It's just, I know how hard I worked. I know how hard the team worked, and it just feels good. Plus, dude, my resume is going to be beefy after this. Beefy.
Well, I think the first beer needs to go to you, and you should go ahead and crack it. So what do you got over there?
Appreciate that. Well, okay. Mystery brew, as always. This is the brewery's name, brewery that I've never heard of before, but just by the name, I'm hooked. I'm in. All right. These guys are called Hardywood Park. Hardywood Park Brewing. And it sounds like a fun place to be, any place where you can get a lot of hardwood. And it's a whole park apparently. So, Hardywood Park Brewing, they are from, I believe, the VA, Virginia, not the Veterans Association. And so I don't know, they've got kind of actually a great website. So again, that's another plus in the category. Great website, fun to look at. Really well done. It's interactive. It's pretty, and they actually have their beers up there. So I might actually have a shot about not just guessing the style, but we might actually get to pick exactly which beer I've got here. Right. I'm definitely calling IPA up front. Possibly a lager, but It would have to be a pretty hoppy lager. So let me see what the
Okay.
flavor notes give us here. Well, anyway, so it poured golden yellow, beautiful beer. Just enough head to make a man happy, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so far so good.
Hardywood.com is going to be the website if you guys want to go and check it out. And they do.
Oh my God.
They got several different kind of beers, lots of lager, some pills.
Okay.
They got a bourbon barrel crew. That looks fun.
I have no idea what I'm putting in my mouth here. Dude, this thing is rare. I'm not gonna say weird because it's good, but it's rare. I've never had a beer quite like this. I shit you not. If I was blindfolded, I would have told you that this was like a marshmallow stout. And I'm gonna take by your silence that you don't really know what I'm talking about here.
No,
Because I don't know what I'm talking
walk
about.
walk us through it because I mean they've got a lot of different types here,
Mm-hmm.
but they've
I'm
got
getting
gingerbread stouts.
I'm getting toasted marshmallow, but it can't be a stout. It's blonde.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Well, I mean, it
Um,
could be a golden stout though.
do they have any?
Let me look at the crew. No, that's definitely not it. That crew came up dark, so that's definitely
Dude,
not that.
this thing is a true mystery beer. Wow. Um, hmm.
All right, so we're almost to the yeah. They don't have anything else up there. Are you getting any kind of ginger because they lay into the ginger a lot? Their gingerbread stout
Maybe,
family is
maybe. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. But again, are any of those a golden stout? Imperial milk.
mm,
Damn, dude, this is strange. I'm gonna have to unsheath it. Man, I was
that's
so
okay.
cocky. I
That's
went
okay.
I went into this thing. I was like, oh, I got this shit down. It's on the website. I don't know what I have in my mouth, which is a really fun game, by the way. It's one of
What's
our
in
favorite party
Fitz's
games. It's
mouth?
like, yeah, what's in my mouth, or like more to the point, who's in my mouth. But that was enough.
Right, right.
Holy shit. Well, you fucking nailed it, dude. This thing is called Speculus Cookie Butter Beer. It's an imperial golden ale with toasted coconut, vanilla, and other natural flavors. 9.5
Wow.
percenter, made with whole vanilla beans, milk, sugar, toasted coconut. This full-bodied ale pairs with just about any treat, topped with your favorite deliciously unusual cookie butter spread. Okay, that was the toasted marshmallow. It's cookie butter, not marshmallow. Wow, what a fantastic beer! I really dig these guys. They are clearly not afraid to take some chances and try something new, and they fucking nailed it. It's a great beer.
That's
Great beer.
interesting. That's an
It really
interesting
is.
beer. Give me the name of it one more time.
Cookie butter beer. Speculus. Speculous. Speculus cookie butter beer. And listen, I love cookie butter just as much as the next fat person. I fucking love that shit. Um,
You know
but
what?
it's one of those things that I don't keep around because I know I'll just like I get weird with it. I get how dogs get with their bones sometimes, like they'll growl and like bite you,
Right.
because they
That's you.
yeah that's how I feel with cookie butter. Yeah, it's like do not give me some sourdough toast, put it in the
Okay.
toaster for a little bit, just a light crisp, and put some cookie butter on it, and get the fuck just move back, step back slowly, no sudden movements. I'm gonna eat that shit alone because because in a dark corner because I don't want anyone to watch me gorge like that. But yeah, really nailed it in this beer. What a wow, man! I'm gonna have to give the wifey an extra inch or two tonight for this one. This is good. Woo!
Nice, honey. This beer was so good, so great. It gave me an extra inch just for you.
I'm going full insertion tonight, whether you like it or not.
As
You know,
opposed to
usually I
every
like
other
to hold.
night, that was
I
you
like
just
to
hold
hold.
it
Yeah, I like
back.
to hold back. Yeah, I gotta hold back a little bit.
Hey,
You don't want to
hey,
cause injuries.
you only get 2 inches tonight, honey.
Hey,
You just
hey, hey.
you just. All right, I better open mine now.
Yeah. What do you got?
So I've got one that's called Trainwreck, which is very
Oh,
fitting.
Sweet.
for us.
Perfect.
Oh, it smells crazy.
Ooh, that looks
Wow.
crazy.
So this is the beer for everybody who's playing along at home. This is from King's Brewing Company, and they do have. I'll post their website here, but I wanted to find the actual beer here. So I'm starting off with what is considered a goes. See, and Mike Gray isn't here, and he totally would have dug this.
Yeah, well, you snooze, you lose around here.
So here we go. Oh, wow. Ooh, raspberry salt beer. And it's thick. Wow, I'm not sure how they did that because it's definitely a goes. So goes, they're sour.
But
They've
it's-
got a little bit more salt to it. And this is like raspberry puree.
But it's
Oh,
black,
my
dude.
goodness.
Is it black? Does it pour black?
No. It's a deep purple or a deep red.
A
Yeah.
goza that's purple.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
we
call
have
it
we have
they call it a froze, Frose. So it's
So
not like a
froza.
slushy.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
instead
Well,
of a goes, it's a froze.
what a treat for both of us, and I'm hoping for our listeners too, because these are two very extremely rare beers. I've never had one like this. This is crazy.
Oh, that is a summer beer and a half. That's really really good.
Well,
Lots
I'm sorry,
of berry.
maybe you mentioned it. What's the ABV on that?
7.
Oh, okay, decent showing.
Lots of raspberry. So if you went and you picked up a package of raspberries at the store, even the frozen ones, and you blended them and then went ahead and put them in, probably imagine putting them in with maybe some club soda or something and making and then probably some vodka with it.
Oh, nice.
That's what you're getting. And the texture isn't quite that thick, but it's got a little bit of lactose to it. So, oh, that's fun. It's a fun beer. It's a good one after today. Nice little surprise. Good stuff. That's King's Brewing Company out of Rancho Cucamonga. One of the coolest city names.
Dude, that's
ever.
a great city name. Yeah. Where are you from?
Truly is.
I'm
Rancho
from
Cucamonga.
Cucamonga.
What
Where are
say
you
about my
from?
mom?
And whatever. Yeah, exactly. Whatever you say after that, you're gonna sound like a little tiny schoolgirl.
Exactly.
After someone says Cucamonga, I mean, what are you gonna say? I'm from Eugene. Pussy. Anyway.
So as far I didn't have any real housekeeping to go into, but I do want to stop and just talk about a life experience that I'm currently going through.
Yeah, please do, because not only because I feel like we're just at that time in our lives when all this kind of parenting, like where we're becoming the parents of our parents kind of stuff is going on. Not in the sense of we're coaching them through life, but in the sense of we are now the caregivers. And
Right.
you're kind of going through a different experience than I'm going through. So yeah, please talk about that.
It fucking sucks. It's absolute bullshit. It is the biggest fucking scam that you
Racket,
ever
yeah.
want to. It is an absolute racket.
Yeah.
It is absolutely astonishing how much of a racket it is. That's what it is. Oh yeah, sorry. What I'm doing is we're trying to find not an independent living, assisted living residence for my mother-in-law. Okay, mother-in-law. No, there are no mother-in-law jokes here. All right, there isn't any,
Right.
because the way this segues, right? So this is absolute bullshit. Because we're going to segue into what are we going to do when we get that old, right? So nobody in our generation or our parents' generation fucking planned for this shit. I'm absolutely convinced of it. My mom didn't.
No.
I know your
No.
mom didn't. My mother-in-law did not. I don't know anybody else who has. They pretty much expected, well, your kids, you're going to have to fucking figure it out. and they're totally fine with it. And now I have a severe amount of anger and angst that goes along with that. But it is absolutely infuriating what a racket this is. Fitz, if you or I wanted to go into an assisted living home, like right now, okay, just fuck it. You know, I'm checking out. I'm going to go live in this place, and you're going to assist me living. It's going to be
four to $6,000 a month.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. Yep.
They have elevations. They have elevations of care, and they do it on a point system. So if you could take your meds and you can get up every morning and you don't need anybody to help you shower, well,
you can piss in your own bucket.
Right. It's only going to cost you $4,500 a month to live there. Now they cover, okay, the cleaning is done for you. The food is all right.
Food is in air
cafeteria
quotes.
Food. yeah, allegedly.
Right.
It is just turned into an amazing racket. Nothing, and unless you're actually, you've got the long-term health care or the long-term care insurance, you're absolutely fucked. Nobody is getting in there unless you have a ton of money. But then you've got the state that's willing to go ahead. Yeah, we'll go and we'll take care of, you can go ahead and sign over your Social Security check to us, and we'll go ahead and cover some of the rest. And you can live in this, nursing home that has 4 other people to a room, shit like that.
Yeah, and isn't there like a provision where, like, if you sign your Social Security over, they get all of it, but only a certain percentage of it goes towards your costs. They keep the rest for administrative fees, of course.
Oh, I'm sure the administrative fees are wrapped up in there.
Oh yeah.
So it's been absolutely infuriating. We've gone to a couple. We did find one that would probably work, but now we've got to figure out how. Of course, you got to figure out how you're going to pay for it. And if you don't get them a nice place, then you're an asshole. So I just don't know how anybody deals with their parents. Like, nobody wants to stick their parent in a shitty place. They don't want to, right?
No, I'm
wants
refusing to. Like, I can't do it. I won't do it. Not only can I not afford it, but I'd rather just. And let's be clear here. My mom listens to the show, so I'm saying this with her full knowledge, and she will be laughing and nodding as she hears this. But I'd rather take her out into the middle of the forest and just put a bullet in her brain pan than put her through that. And she would rather that too. Like, she's asked me to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to go. I'm looking at long-term insurance just for me, because I don't want my kids to have to go through this. Okay. So you could pay $100 a month, and you can get up to $5,000 a month if you end up having to go into long-term care. Okay. I'm spitballing here. I mean, the numbers might change because I've only looked at one policy I can get through work. But I could start paying $100 a month to cover myself going forward. But who knows when I'm going to need it? But if I don't start now, well, I might be sticking my kids with it. Now, as a responsible fucking adult who's been through having aging parents and stuff in the household, I don't want my kids to fucking deal with it. And it's just astonishing to me when you've got parents that are totally fine with you having to deal with it. All right, I'm off my soapbox now. But that's how my week has been.
No, I know you've been battling that all week, and I actually, I'd rather have gone through what I've been going through this week with, an actual really fun end goal in mind, and then the 60 hours that I worked this week is like fun, as opposed to, you having to go to work and then, you also have to find an assisted living place. That's Jesus. And that's the thing is, if you don't start now, and I believe Aaron pointed this out in chat, if you don't start with that long-term insurance now, and you wait until you are 59, it's going to be $500 a month.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah.
What a fuck. You know what? This whole life thing, it's what a dumb fucking paradigm. I don't know who set this up. I mean, if you believe in God or you believe in, the universe, whatever your belief is, this paradigm of like you're born and you know your youthfulness and when you feel the best in life is spent learning really hard fucking lessons, and then by the time you've learned all the lessons you feel like shit every day when you wake up and it just gets worse from there. What the hell is that? And I'm not even talking like meaning of life type shit. I'm just talking about just waking up daily and like, why do I feel so bad? And why is it getting worse? And then someday I'm going to feel so bad that I can't work anymore. Someone's going to have to take care of me because I can't wipe my own ass. I mean, what a dumb thing. Like, where's the dignity in any of it?
Well, here's where I'm going to pivot, right? So here's the funny. So I'm walking around all of these places. I've been to 3 in the last 2 days.
Oof.
One has a happy hour where they have a cart and they take it around room to room and they say, you want some wine or would you like a beer? Okay, that's not a bad deal. But this also led me to start thinking about, okay, hold on a second. I can go ahead and trick my room out however I want to, right? And I can go ahead, I could make this pretty much into a club. I'll put a bar in there.
Lights?
Maybe lights, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Friday night at Steve's, leave the door open. Whoever walks in, they walk in. It's cool. You're there. Hey, how's it going? We got, we'll be DJing, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That could be incredibly fun.
That I totally agreed. And then, maybe some of the older ladies stay over after party.
Yeah.
Females only.
And you don't have to drive. You just walk back to your room.
Right.
Or roll. You got to walk.
I was going to say, and if you get too crazy and she can't walk, you just throw her in her chair and push her down the hall.
Exactly. Or better yet, you call for an orderly. You call for an orderly and say, "Hey, can you take this person back to their room? We're done."
Yeah. Hey, listen, Stanley, can you take, Martha back to her room and get that wheel oiled? My God, it was so squeaky while I was. I mean, you could. You're right. You know what? You're right. Give me all the painkillers that you can that you're legally allowed to give, so that I feel okay. And then you just set up a nightclub. You set up a swingers club. Fuck it. You pair people up. And then your payment is somebody has to stay behind and get you off. I don't know. And you're onto something.
And you don't have to clean up. Somebody else is going to come in and clean up. So it seems like a win-win to me. It's just really fucking expensive. So you're going to have to charge like $5 or $10 a head at the door.
Okay. I mean, what's that on top of $4,500 to $6,000 a month? That's nothing.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this. I think we're getting close to naming the show already here, which is geriatric happy hour or something like that. Party at the geriatrics. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna throw geriatric happy hour right on top there.
I like that, or the geriatric rave. You could just slip in some Quaaludes for random people. You're getting a bag of drugs. You don't know what's in it. 3 of you are gonna get Quaaludes. Let's do it. Go.
Okay. So, and you've got access. They all have pharmacies on site.
Exactly. Now you're feeling my vibe here. There's drugs right down the hall, dude. Fucking wine or a beer. No. Give me the good shit. Give me the good shit or God help
Jaeger.
me. Yeah.
Oh, man. This is why we drink, everybody.
Dude.
Well,
can you imagine the blackmail you could pull off in a place like that? Like, look, give me the drugs I want, or I'm gonna jump out this window and I'm gonna say that you fucked me. I'm gonna write a suicide note and I'm gonna say that you fucked me every night that you worked here.
It's terrible.
So give me the drugs.
So terrible.
What?
Terrible.
You wouldn't? I would. I would do it.
In the puzzle room.
It. Yeah.
Puzzle room.
Yeah. Go ahead. Do a DNA check in my room. There's gonna be
every one of them had a garden. And every time the person who's walking around walked us by it, right, in every place and said, "Oh, and here's the garden." It's a little raised garden. It's like 4x3, 4x2. Yeah, this is our garden right here. It's dead right now. And we just walked on. It's like, I don't know where I am.
Dude,
oh my God.
Okay, you know what's bizarre? And I know we've talked about this a little bit before, and I know in fact George Carlin did a great bit on this, but I'm not intending to be funny here, but isn't it odd that preschools and end of life care facilities have pretty much the same amenities? Like, because you're talking about a garden, we're putting a garden in at my preschool, and like several of them, and short of like jungle gyms, everything is basically the same. We're feeding them, we're giving them their meds when they need. That's crazy.
Well,
hello,
Hefe. Given your history, Hefe, what do you think about all three of us going into the same assisted living house or place at the same time, and we just set up a bar in each of our rooms, and we just rotate the party on each weekend?
Like soon or when we're old?
At this point, I think maybe
Yes.
sooner than later might be better.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
Yeah, fuck it.
dude. Do you know how much senior citizen tail I could pull?
Oh man,
Dude.
so much.
How's your night
We
going?
can film it. Oh, it's going. It's going. Yeah, it's you know how it goes. This early, it's shitty, but it could get better.
All right. Well, it's Friday. It's Saturday night, so happy Labor Day, because this will drop on Labor Day.
Right on.
But yeah. Any news today, or are you just dropping in to see where we are?
No, just been
Hey.
kind of chill.
Hey, how's your car, dude? How's the
Oh God.
battery alternator fucking CPU situation going?
And my near-death experience.
And your near-death experience?
Everything's fixed, so that's good. It's running about how you would expect a car with that many miles on it to run.
Yeah.
But it's running. It's running. So that's good.
Dude, I am in awe of the fact that my car, what year's your car?
My car's a 13.
And my car is an 09. And you have literally 3 times as many miles on your car as I do. You do a lot of driving, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, I do. I do. And it's funny because once in a while we'll get on a conversation of dealers when they say where they live and this casino's closer, I should work there and stuff like that. This one guy's like, yeah, I saw this accident on the freeway, and I was like, it was, with as much as I drive, I haven't seen a whole lot of accidents. It's really kind of weird.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, I've been stuck in traffic because of accidents, stuff like that. But to actually see one like right in front of me, no. So I'm okay with that too. Just kind of strange with how much driving you can do.
Well, luck of the Pollock, that's what you got. Luck of the Pollock. I've only ever seen, I've seen a couple that I'm fairly certain were fatal, but I've only seen one that I'm certain was fatal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was when my grandpa and I were going down the Salt River Canyon back when that was like the cool way to get to Sholo.
Uh-huh.
And we were on our way down, and I looked, and it was nighttime, and I looked across the way, and there were, you can see across the canyon.
Yeah.
And across the way, I don't know if the guy fell asleep or he was avoiding a deer or I don't know what, but he drove straight through the guardrail, and I just saw his headlights. One of them went out when he hit the guardrail. So it was one headlight, and I just saw it fall for, I don't know, 700-800 feet, and then just black.
Went out. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just hear it. And there was just black. It's
Yep.
like, holy shit, that guy's dead. And it's not like the movies. The car did not blow up. There was no flames, just blackness. And and I'll never forget my grandpa and this is who my grandpa was, but he just looked at me and he said, "You just saw your first death." I was like, Jesus Christ, Grandpa.
You're like, that's what you think, Grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I've been through it. I was in Nam.
Allegedly.
Anyway, crazy shit.
Though, I really, really hope that we get that kind of candor when we get older. I guess, maybe we've got it now. I don't know. Maybe I've said stuff like that's that impactful to my kids. I have no idea. But
yeah,
I really, really hope, because that generation could say some shit and it was just like, just deadpan. Just, wow.
Matter of
I'm
fact.
just going to sit here and think about that. That's all I'm going to do.
Matter of fact.
So I got a funny little story.
All right.
I slammed my thumb in the oven door at home, like I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that, and it bled under there. So it's got this blood spot under my nail, and my younger son saw it, and he goes, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's what happens when you bleed under your nail." And he goes, "What's going to happen to it?" And I said, "Well, it's dry now, so it'll just keep growing and growing, and eventually, it'll be gone. I'll cut it out as I cut my nails." And he's like, "Oh, okay, it's cool." So, cut to today, a few days ago, and I was driving to work, and so it's my left thumb, and the blood spot is just left of center, right? And so I was driving to work, cutting my nails, because that's, I multitask. And I was like, I got to take a before and after picture for my son. And I took it, and when it's on my camera roll, so it's like a smaller picture, it looks like I'm holding my cock. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
It looks exactly like that. And I was like,
the blood spot?
Yeah, when did I take a picture of my dick? Yeah, I'll send it to you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But when you click,
great. Yes, please. I want to see.
And it's bigger, you can definitely tell it's my thumb. But when it's small, it looks like I'm holding my cock and taking a picture of it. So fucking funny. Here, let me do it right.
Drop it into the whiskey chat so all of our listeners can see it. I think thumbs are awkward like that because I've never seen a picture of a thumb and have it not look like a dick.
Well, you guys know I have kind of, I guess, odd hands. Hefe, I know you know this because we've talked about it, but my thumbs don't bend back at all. My thumbs are completely straight. Even when I press down on something, they don't bend back at all. And almost everybody else's does. In fact, it's supposed to mean that the more your thumb bends backwards, the more you like attention. So apparently I don't like any attention on me, even though we do this show and I'm sometimes crave the attention. But anyway, my thumbs are completely straight. So my wife, she likes my hands, but she's like, you don't have a thumb. You have a fifth finger. And so we call my thumb my finger.
Oh,
because it's like half thumb, half finger. So it's a finger. So I have two fingers. So my point is they really look like cocks when I take a picture of them. Yeah.
Perfect. Now we've got cock thumbs as a possible.
Oh, and on that note,
title.
It was my mom's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Mom.
Yes. She just turned 49. That's so fantastic.
Yep.
No, she can't turn 49 because you're 48.
No, I'm 49.
No, you're 49.
Well,
All right,
I'm
never
49.
mind.
Yeah, I'll be 50 in March.
All right,
Dude.
she's
So.
65. There. How's that?
Right. Better.
Take that. And everybody's saying happy birthday in chat. Hey, in chat we've got Beard of Liberty, Lisa L, Tabby, Mike is here, and Jay is also with us tonight. So you're getting a lot of happy birthdays from the chat.
Hey, yeah, lots of happy birthdays. I think half of chat is wondering why you gave birth to me, and the other half is thankful that you did. So I think it's a split group. Hey, and Mike, I just want you to know, when you were setting up your headphones, you were playing with your headphone cord, and just the view that we had of you, I swear to God, I thought you were going to be doing yo-yo tricks. It looked like he was about to set up and do some yo-yo stuff for us on screen. I was like, what? What's he doing?
I'm so thankful that I don't set up so that I can see any of the video that's going on in chat. Because you guys would be so damn distracting. Beard, we know what Beard likes to drop into the video. And Mike, you should have been here at the beginning, because the beer that I'm drinking is such a Mike beer.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah. You missed out, Mike. This thing's fantastic. You're gonna have to go back and listen to the show as McShane's describing this thing. It's definitely a Mike, a Gray's Tap Room must.
Hey, let's while we've got Hefe here, let's go ahead and listen to NASA Fall on the Sword.
Okay.
And in doing this work of examining my own intentions and my own actions and their impact, I can see that there's so much more that I could have done to make the projects I've led equally welcoming to Black, Indigenous, and people of color as the white people they have engaged. I feel a lot of shame and regret about that. And I know that without looking head on at what I've done and not done, I won't be able to do better. So I'm looking forward to today's event and to this whole series as steps in my personal and professional journey to make my work more anti-racist and therefore more effective in reaching my aspiration.
And this may be a review for many of you, but these are those different characteristics that you probably see coming up a lot in our workspaces, especially in the practice of science. Perfectionism, a sense of urgency. I'm sure all of us are feeling a sense of urgency about some of the deadlines that we maybe have right now. The idea of power hoarding, the idea of individualism over collectivism, quantity over quality, either or thinking. And so all of these things can really limit the way we go about doing our work, and they can really limit the way we are able to connect with communities that come from different cultural backgrounds that don't value these things the same way that white supremacy culture values them.
Okay, so white supremacy culture is apparently right to comfort, either or thinking, objectivity, progress is bigger, more, fear of open conflict. Okay, they're fucking engineers. This is NASA.
Yeah.
No. We're talking about, yes, you need to have actual deadlines. It's a fucking business.
And I love that, like you said, it's engineers, and they have this either or thinking. Yeah, either it works or it doesn't. Like there's no in between. It kind of works, so let's put a guy in it and shoot it to the moon. Let's just see. No. You gotta fucking prove that it works. It's either or the whole way through. And I don't care if it's a black guy you're shooting up to the moon. It better fucking work.
I just don't know. I don't understand how we got to the point that something as important as making sure that a rocket got into space and was able to do its job is now white supremacy. If you don't do it a certain way, it's unfucking believable.
I don't get it. And listen, I'm all for anti-groupthink. I don't like groupthink. I like a diverse work group.
Sure.
Because I think if everybody is thinking the way that you're thinking, then someone's not thinking. Like that's my mantra at work. Like, hey, no ideas are bad ideas. Let's get them out there. However, that's got nothing to do with race or background or culture. It can, but it's not exclusive of or necessarily of. It can be from anything.
So we know the Boeing astronauts. Reminder: Boeing astronauts are not going to be coming home until February when SpaceX actually saves them.
Lost in space. Sorry.
Exactly. Now, Boeing moved from Seattle because they were trying to get a more inclusive base. That's actually the reason why they moved away from Seattle. And they've got over and over and over again. They've got planes falling out of the sky. They've got doors blowing open. Just this past week, we had 2 workers were killed when a tire exploded at a Delta airline facility. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry that you feel like, having well-engineered aircrafts are racist, but it's more important to actually have people be able to travel in the sky than your fucking feelings.
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, Hefe.
All right, man. Can't wait for the fine report later.
Oh yeah. See you in an hour.
Hell yeah. All right, man.
Hefe does have a farm report for us. So, all right, I got the DEI stuff out of the way. I'm glad we were able to do that right there and just flush the toilet.
Yeah, exactly, and not give it any energy because it doesn't deserve any. I do love that there are some really big, important corporations out there going back or just shying away from their DEI. The new, I sent you guys this week. I sent you guys the one of the new Bud Light commercials. It's got Shane Gillis in it, and it's fabulous. It's we'll have to play it on the show here for you, but it's really good, and it's so away from DEI. It's great. It's old school Bud Light. It is. It's old school Bud Light, and it's whether you like their beer or not, they had some of the best commercials ever, and so they're shying away from the wokeness and just going back to what their customer base wants.
Yeah, and that's really what it should be coming down to. It really should be. It's that simple. Stop overthinking it. Yeah. And if somebody's fucking offended by it, if the 1% out there that's offended by it, let them be offended. It's okay. Stop pandering to the minority. Not just minority as in 49%. The vast minority of 1% to 2%. Like, fuck them. If they don't like your product, that's okay. Go to the 98% that does. Well, and that's what you make White Claws for, right? Or that's what you make, like the really like the whatever, the cactus coolers. Yeah, exactly. That's let them go with those. It's fine. It's okay. Not everybody has to drink your beer. Dude, in this country, we went in 50 years, actually less than that, dude, probably 30. We went from, hey, cigarette companies, you have to stop making the candy cigarettes and trying to get kids hooked on your product. So you should probably end that. We went from that to we're going to make commercials and advertise to the 1% of possible maybe LGBTQ drinkers out there who might like our product. How do we lose our way like that? Jesus. Money. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Very interesting turn of events has happened this week. So we're going to pivot over to go to the Venezuelan gangs that have taken over Aurora, Colorado. Middle of the country. Not all of Aurora, Colorado, but 3 different apartment complexes that have actually been taken over now. These are, what is the Venezuelan group involved in human smuggling, violence, money laundering, and drug trafficking across the U.S., including at the Nome Street apartment complex in Aurora. While local reports claim the complex is shutting down due to code violations, many believe this is just a cover for a larger issue. So basically what you have all these Venezuelans who have come into the country. That happened on the Harris Biden regime. Oh yeah. Very possibly coming in specifically to Aurora. In fact, we've got a clip from the mayor of Aurora, Colorado, who's alluding to it being just that. And they've taken over these complexes. They've kicked out the management company. They're charging anybody who lives there rent. And if people leave, well, then I mean they're out of home. They're basically been kicked out. They're well armed. I've seen videos with AK-47s, ARs, lots of guns. Just a horrible situation.
They allegedly, because I was talking to my wife about this. She's like, "How'd they get the guns?" I'm like, "Well, allegedly, these Venezuelans, even though they're not necessarily part of MS-13, they are in a contract, for lack of a better term, or a mutual benefit situation where MS-13 is selling them all of their guns so that they can take over these apartment complexes." So, yeah, like you said, the AK-47s, a lot of ARs. Every single one of these guys is walking around with 2 to 3 handguns on them. I mean, it's scary shit. You know, if you lived in this apartment complex and they came to your door and they were like, "Hey, either pay us this amount of cash or you're out," I'm out. I'm moving my family and I'm out. I mean, it's not worth, opening fire and dying over it. Not for a fucking shitty apartment like this, but these guys are serious. They have serious firepower. It's all fighting age males, which we've been talking about, and it's, guys, this is the middle of America. This is a suburb of Denver, Colorado, not some podunk town in the middle of nowhere.
Ninth largest city in the nation. Ninth largest city in the nation.
I've stayed in Aurora. I love Aurora. It was a cookie cutter, nice little place to raise your family. Not anymore. People are fucking leaving.
Here, let's go to the mayor and let's get his comments.
Let me put it in context first. This concern that it's 3 apartment complexes, but that's not to minimize it at all. But we're, the 51st largest city in America, over 400,000 in population, and so. But there are 3 apartment complexes that we believe in where there is a concentration of Venezuelan migrants, and the criminality is unfortunately followed. So we have a task force with local, state, and our federal law enforcement partners working on it to root these criminals out and get them off the streets. But it certainly concerns me. But it is in 3 apartment complexes.
Now, you and I talked about this issue of apartment complexes, migrant gangs. We talked about this at length last week. And I did ask you if you knew about armed people going around and intimidating people at these complexes. And you said you did know that this was happening to the apartment building owners, and to an extent that we knew it was happening to people who lived there. But my question is, when did you first see this video? And when did you know it was to the extent that we're seeing in this video?
Well, we've known, I think I put out a couple weeks ago that we had formed the task force. We knew at that time that we had formed the law enforcement task force to root them out, that there was intimidation going on, and part of that intimidation certainly involves individuals with weapons.
Mr. Mayor, why Aurora? I've got people from across the country sending me messages. What's going on in Aurora? Why are these gangs in Aurora? Do we know why they came here? Why they seem to be taking over some spots in our city?
So I'm trying to trace it back right now. I can tell you, some things that are unconfirmed that I believe are true. I think we know that these gang elements are attracted to concentrations of Venezuelan migrants. That's unfortunately, there's a lot of criminality in Venezuela. It's basically a failed state. The role of the police department there is to protect the government. It's not to protect the people. And so, unfortunately, some of these criminal elements have come up with the migrants. It's my understanding that Venezuela does not share criminal histories with the United States, and so it's very difficult to vet them at the border, yet they've been allowed to come in anyway. People can cross the border illegally, be arrested, and then receive humanitarian parole to apply. They've applied for political asylum until their cases can be adjudicated. It's a terrible combination where.
All right, so that actually continues on for another 5 minutes or so, but you kind of get the picture, right? I mean, you've got a part of the country that is, I mean, it's not. When I think about Aurora, it's not like Denver, okay, or a Phoenix or a Houston or something along those lines. I'm thinking a little more sleepy, right? Kind of not the. I mean, it's big. Don't get me wrong. It's still a major
suburb.
City.
It's a suburb.
But it's like our Mesa or our
right.
You know,
exactly.
Glendale, maybe something along those lines. And we've heard Trump say repeatedly that Venezuela is horrible. They've basically opened up their jails and they've let people come here, and it's been nothing but an absolute abuse of the system. I don't understand why these, and I've said this numerous times on X, I don't understand why they aren't considered terrorists.
Exactly.
And you would think any other time that we've seen anything like this, you'd be getting law enforcement like no other. The FBI would be in there. I mean, you'd think that these guys would be cracked down on. The
SWAT
weirdest thing, yes, SWAT teams. The weirdest thing is that we've even heard reports that the Hells Angels are going in, that they want to go out there, and they're on their way to go ahead and liberate these apartment complexes. Just bizarre. Worst thing, even worse than all of this, you've got Jared Polis, Colorado governor, Democrat, who's not even taking it seriously.
No, he says it's a joke.
This is the same jackass who back in December during Christmas, we played him singing Feliz Navidad and dancing. Okay, he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
So it's sad. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. It's absolute corruption. It's the border is completely wide open, and Democrats don't give a shit. As long as they vote for Democrats, they're perfectly fine with it. And I'm sure that's the gig. Not that any of these guys are going to vote anyway, but now they've taken over an apartment complex. They've run out actual citizens. And again, the Democrats don't give a shit about their citizens.
Yeah, I like how the mayor, even the mayor, I think you could, hear some concern in his voice, but even he was like, there's some level of intimidation going on. That was the verbiage used. Some level of intimidation. Now, the footage that we've been watching on a loop here is dudes, every one of them are not small men.
No.
They all are heavily armed. Some of those rifles have fucking scopes on them. Everybody's got a handgun. One guy's on a cell phone, maybe talking to backup. And they just walk into this person's apartment. That's not intimidation. That's beyond intimidation. Is we're going to beat on your door and threaten to beat the shit out of you or your kid or something. And then you're like, oh, I'm scared. No, they just walked into this person's house.
This is straight out of Ray Redemption.
Yeah, exactly. This is gang activity. And I mean, I guess the word gang is now racist and I'm not allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it. These are gangs. And if you want to talk about gangs, like it's funny because when we first sort of heard about the rumor about the Hells Angels heading there, and that's all it is right now. We have no proof. So please don't, pin us to the ropes here about that. Although it wouldn't surprise me, but my first reaction was like, oh, you want to bring gangs into this country? We invented gangs. Like we've had the mob. The Hells Angels have been around for a long fucking time, and they have stores of weaponry you wouldn't believe. I have talked to members of the Hells Angels, and they're like, hey, we're keeping it peaceful because we don't want that kind of trouble. But believe me, if it comes down to it, we can arm everybody with several weapons. So if that's the truth, if that's what's happening is the Hells Angels are coming there in numbers, it's going to be a bloodbath. And you know what the shitty thing is? Innocents are going to get caught in the crossfire.
Yep.
Cops are going to come down on the Hells Angels. It's going to be ugly. And and I don't think it'll get to that point. I truly don't. But if it did, can you imagine the political hot potato that would become, which is MAGA screaming, you didn't do enough. And the liberals screaming, this is why we need gun control. I mean, truly.
Oh, you're damn right it will be.
It's a fucking nightmare happening right now, unfolding in front of our eyes. Even if only 5 shots are fired, it's gonna be a nightmare.
here's something that really bothers me about this. And I mean, I do want to get to the California wanting to give illegals $150,000 for their own home. I want to get to that next. But with this business in Aurora, how much of a honeypot is this? You talk about,
I mean, depends.
The government
depends on the
doesn't
spin,
do anything
dude.
about it. Well,
Yep.
if the government's not going to do about it, you get some citizens who want to go and take the law into their own hands. You know it's going to get spun like that. You know it's going to get spun. It's going to be, well, MAGA conservatives, they went out and they took law into their own hands. Now we have to take their guns. How much of this this could very well be a honeypot.
Yeah.
The pressure has to be put on the government to fix this. They need to go in there. They need to crash it. They need to fucking take down the whole fucking apartment building if they have to, whatever. And it needs to be fixed. This is the kind of stuff that can't go on. And we've got MS-13 out here in Arizona. This isn't a fun thing.
Yeah, no, we've got it. We've got it up in Portland. We don't have it. Well, to my knowledge, we don't have it in Eugene, at least not very strong. You know, here's the other angle of this is, I mean, we all remember defund the police. We all remember that push. Well, here we are.
This is what you got.
This is what you get. And, you know, like there's a reason that actual American citizens buy plate carriers and have, you know, bulletproof vests and have, you know, high caliber weapons. And yeah, some of them are out hunting. Others are just going, hey, what if this happens in my town? And I have to get together a posse of people to defend my fucking apartment. You know, it's a valid argument at this point because we're seeing it unfold in real time in an American city in the middle of America. This isn't a border town. This is middle fucking America. And we're having this conversation because it's actually happening. It's there.
Well, Fitz, Gavin Newsom has a really, really tough decision on his hands. Does he sign the bill that his far left legislature threw up to him to give illegal immigrants $150,000 in state-supported home loans just so they can have the American dream?
0 down, 0 interest. Just move into a house. Think about that. 0 down, 0 interest. What rate can you and I get? Dude, my credit score is the highest it's ever been in my life. It's obscenely high. It's stupid. I don't even know what I did to get it over 800. It's stupid. And I still can't get under 5% right now.
No. Democrats hate Americans. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep.
They do. And
Yep.
Californians hate Americans. They hate their own people. That's where we're at. When you come up, sorry, it's a very angry show tonight. When we have stupid shit like this going on, the only outcome is that they hate Americans. Period. How many veterans could you put in their own home? How many homeless could you get off the streets? But no, you're going to give somebody who just walked across the border, has no business being here. They're not really asylum seeking. They're here just to be here. I'm sorry. It's obscene. It's disgusting.
It's completely absurd. And I want to be clear here. This isn't racial. I mean,
no.
if a bunch of and again, no disrespect meant to Semi-Skeptic Pod, one of our couple of our favorite guys over there in London. You guys fucking kill it. Can't wait to be back on the show, by the way. We need to make that happen because big shit's going down again. But if 40,000 Londoners showed up on our shores and wanted to just infiltrate our cities, that also is a problem. It's not because these people are Venezuelan. Yes, a lot of them are criminals, and it has nothing to do with where they're from. It's the fact that they're not American citizens and they're getting benefits that American citizens are not allowed to get. That's the problem.
I'm going to say it right now. No, and there's no racism. We've made it very clear that a true pathway to citizenship, one that has an expedited trial, judges who are going to take care of it. We could see why you need to be here. There's reasons for it. No problem. Absolutely no problem. But when you are storming the beaches like Normandy, down south of San Diego, it's an invasion. This isn't just, you're not just coming here. It's not. I'm sorry. And here, let's go ahead and check out this goodness. This is a hijacking of a bus, of a school bus.
A group of migrants tried to board a school bus this morning while it was traveling to a school. The superintendent for the Humul del Zura Union School District informed parents of that incident earlier today. It happened at one of the stops on the school district's bus route that heads to Oak Grove Middle School and Humul Primary. Meanwhile, yesterday afternoon, in a similar area along another route, the superintendent says that a group of migrants tried to stop another bus. Border Patrol, CHP, and the Sheriff's Office have now been informed of these incidents. The superintendent says that for the safety of everyone, if a driver sees a group of migrants at a bus stop, they will drive past it and move on to the next. A group of migrants.
Dude, they shouldn't just drive past it. They should drive through that bus stop. Just drive through it.
What the hell? And what are they? Dude, and what about the kids the bus stop that they're hanging out at?
Yeah. Well, and so there's the loop right there, McShane. There's the loop. Is now let's go back to the discussion of how many kids go missing in this country every year. And I'm telling you, folks, if you go out there and you do your research, just go out there and do your research on how many children go missing at sporting arenas, and mainly NBA, NFL, and MLB. How many kids go missing a year at those events in this country? It'll scare the fucking shit out of you. And now we're talking about a bus stop where children go to collect to be picked up by a bus, and there's immigrants there. And again, I'm not saying that immigrants are inherently bad. I'm saying, why are immigrants showing up at a children's bus stop? Those people, yes, are inherently bad. It's like not everybody who drives a van is probably trying to pick up kids and be a child molester, but child molesters often drive vans. So you kind of have to look out. Remember when we were growing up, it was like, hey, don't get in the van. It was always a van. No windows. Hey, you kid, you want some candy? Like stereotypes sometimes are valuable. And when you have people showing up at a bus stop, unsolicited, they weren't asked to be there. In fact, they shouldn't be there. And then they are. And then they try to board a bus full of my kid. Jesus Christ. You're going to have parents standing out there every morning, armed to the teeth, guarding their children. And if you don't, then those parents don't give a shit about their kids. Like, I know everybody who's listening to this show who has kids would absolutely do that for their children. Unbelievable. This is a discussion we're having in the United States of America right now.
Third world country. I don't want that was near San Diego. Why would I go to San Diego? I don't want to go to San Diego now. I don't want to go to California. No. Fuck California, period.
No, fuck California altogether. Yep.
Hey, here's Nancy Pelosi on that $150,000 down payment.
The California lawmakers just passed a law. It hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But understand this about immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as President of the United States. I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the beacon of hope it is to the world, and what America was preeminent in the world because our door was always open, and we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door. Now, I don't do justice to the great communicator. Google it. It's a fabulous speech. And George Herbert Walker Bush continued in that respect for the diversity of America and the rest. California's always in the lead. Maybe others will follow that lead, but that's up to those states. But we're very blessed here with beautiful diversity.
So you'd vote for this law?
Excuse me?
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before you're a citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented. The fact that we can move them to documented. One of the best things that we can do for our economy.
Oh my God, whatever.
He's a fucking moron. Jesus Christ.
Again, Democrats hate Americans, period. That's it. That's my takeaway from this.
And to your point, like veterans, homeless, I don't know. How about really hard working families in those fucking apartments in Venezuela? In Aurora, why are they in apartments? Because they can't afford a fucking house. How about we help those? Then. How about we help those people out? How about that? Just saying. Fuck. We've got favelas here in this country, but we're going to give people coming from favelas in other countries homes, $150,000. Go for it. No down, no interest. Have fun.
I'm ready for beer too, sir.
I just took the last swig of that fucking cookie butter beer.
Okay.
I absolutely need to know. I need to get another one of these beers. I don't even know where she got it. I was not with her when she found this beer. I need to know where she got it. I want a whole 6-pack. I want to send them to everybody I know. Fantastic beer. Holy shit. Whatever my second beer is going to have a tough time beating that, because that was a treat. I wish that was my second beer actually, but it wasn't. So let's see what we got for our next beers. And I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say that the next half of the show is going to be, if the first half was like an 8 on the anger scale, I'm going to say the next half of the show is going to be a 7. We're not going to dial it back too far, but we might dial it back a little bit.
All right, we're gonna get into censorship, and a lot of people.
Then we go 10. Fuck it, we go 10. Fuck everybody.
All right, be back in a minute.
Very fun game.
Very.
You get to kill a bunch of demons and shit.
Very, very true. And I totally hacked that. I didn't start the coming back for the break, but for what you guys missed, join the Patreon. You guys can listen to the music that we're listening to in between halves of the show. At the very beginning when we start the chat, like an hour beforehand, there's a playlist. You get to hang out, chat, and get ramped up for the show. So you guys definitely check it out. And like what Fitz was talking about, Diablo 3, Beard's playing Diablo 3 while he's listening to the show. Mike was actually the one who asked for a little bit of Pennywise there in between the breaks. So good shit. Really, really good shit. Speaking of good shit, I want you to listen to this beer, Fitz. Can you hear that?
Does it talk? Yeah.
Oh,
I can't hear anything. No.
Oh. Well, let me walk you through what I smell.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. So this is Tripping Animals. The name of the beer is Toronto. Let me go ahead and bring up the site real quick. Big Tripping Animals fan. So we started getting they kind of, again, Beer Barn. Thank you, Bryce. You're the man. They kind of tried out Tripping Animals to see if everybody was gonna, dig it. And they've started ramping up the type of beers that they're getting from them now. And this is one of their Imperial Stouts. It's barrel-aged 14%er. And
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm doing some rich beers tonight. Now let me see if I can find Taranto. They actually do a lot of stouts.
God, look at all those beers.
Here it is, right here, this bad boy. Imperial Stout, aged 28 months in cherry brandy barrels, conditioned with cocoa nibs, cocoa butter, and hazelnut.
Mm-hmm.
That is the beer. Super rich, very chocolatey. I haven't even taken a taste yet, but you know that the deep dark chocolate, the smell that comes off of it.
Oh yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, you're gonna start getting into the leathers, the cigars, the velvety rich. Fuck all those beers. I mean, it's just making my mouth water right now. So good.
Okay, malted milk balls. You've had them, right?
Oh yeah.
Malted milk balls. Only the chocolate has a hint of cherry in it.
Okay.
You definitely get a little brandy heat to it, but it's incredibly pleasant. You cannot taste the 14%. And it pours like motor oil.
Nice.
Very happy with that beer. I won't say that it was as good as last week's beer, but it's on par though. It's definitely on par.
Love it. Looks
what do you got
delicious.
up
there? I think that's one that I need to partake in right there. Well, you know how when something, you're anticipating something, someone will say drum roll, right? It's like yeah. Well, this one's gonna be eye roll. Okay,
eye roll.
So I and I'll tell you why, because I know what you're all gonna say. I get it. It's only August, Fitz. It's too early.
Oh no, I know where you're going with this. Okay.
And I know it's too early, but you all know that I can't help myself.
It had to come. You're right.
And it's here, and I promise you I'm going to minimize it this year, but it had to happen. I'm going with the pumpkin.
Wait.
Oh, okay. All right. What do you got?
Let chat has to guess what it is. Let chat guess what it is.
Well, I think
I don't know if they heard you.
I don't know.
I don't know. I might have drowned you out. Let's see. Chat. What's he drinking? If you know Fitz.
What time? Yeah, you know me, and you know what time of year we're coming upon. Oh, beer. Nice job, Aaron.
No, that's Lisa. That's Lisa.
Oh, that's Lisa. Oh, where's Aaron tonight?
I think Aaron's actually jazz hands tonight.
Oh, okay.
Or no, he's the ringer. He's the ringer. He's got his.
I can't guess all your fucking hairy balls. I thought for sure that was Aaron. So, all right, Lisa, you nailed it. Yes, definitely beer. Yes, pumpkin beer. We've got a few pumpkin beers. Yes.
All right.
So cue the eye roll. I'm doing a pumpkin beer, and I'm doing one that I'm fairly certain I've done on the show before, and I don't care because it's one of my favorites.
Oakshire.
No, it's not the big blackjack. I'm not going to do that one this year. Although there are rumors that they're doing a couple of one-off big blackjacks, so I might have to get one of those. But I won't do the straight up one. Big blackjack. No, this one is the one of the offerings from Elysian. They do several pumpkin beers every year. And this one's my favorite. This is the Dark of the Moon pumpkin stout. And the reason I think the reason I like this one so much is because it is a pumpkin stout, but they fucking overload it with cinnamon. And I love cinnamon. It's by far my favorite spice. I'm convinced that cinnamon is a cure for most diseases, cancer included. But it's just got a badass like werewolf on the bottle, on the label. It's a 7.5, so that's another reason I like it, is like you can have 4 of them in a night and not feel like you're gonna die tomorrow. You can still be functional tomorrow and yet have enjoyed a couple hours worth of just delicious pumpkin stout. So again, I'm a sucker. For those of you who are new to the chat, new to the show, Fitz loves all beers. I'm an equal opportunity liquor of beers. But when it comes to pumpkin stouts, I go extra deep with these. My tongue extends as far as it can go because I just love the pumpkin stouts. So pumpkin beers in general, but pumpkin stouts especially. So here we go. Dude, I'm telling you right now, the cinnamon is like clearing my sinuses. It's clearing the back of my throat and all the shit that just lives back there. My uvula just got like a car wash.
Uvula car wash. That's gotta be a band name.
Totally. That and tripping animals. That has to be a
tripping
band
animals,
name too.
Yeah.
No. So, again, one of the things I love about Elysian is they typically will take a style of beer and then go over the top of some element of that beer. So if it's their pumpkin ale, it's a shit ton of pumpkin. If it's their IPA, they'll go over the top with the hops. They're just kind of one of those beers that's like, hey, if you like this one element of this one beer, you're really going to like this one. And so I appreciate them for that because they're fringe. They're from Pacific Northwest up here, but they take a thing and they just are like, hey, how much can you stand? And so this one, again, they just overdo it with the cinnamon. And to me, it's a perfect pumpkin ale. So much cinnamon, so much pumpkin, a few other spices in there, but the other spices are like, we're going to lay down and take a nap. You go ahead and take it, cinnamon. So very dark beer, very little head. Also pours fairly thick for only being a 7.5, really, really thick beer. And, kind of one of those like meal in a glass beers. You feel like you're getting some nutrients from this thing. So one of my favorites, and I'm sorry, I know it's not even September yet, but I saw it in the store and I had to. My weakness, I like blondes and I like pumpkin beers, and I that's just, you likes what you likes. So here we are. Actually, let me correct that. I like women. I like all women. I like blondes. I like brunettes. I like blue eyes. I like brown eyes. I like small butts. I like big butts. I like big boobs. I like small boobs. I like all women. I love you all. You're all my favorite. And I also like pumpkin beers.
It's something that's interesting about Elysian, though. Speaking of, Elysian's very consistent, right? I mean, you get the same kind of a beer every damn time. And it's, so for me, it's their double IPA Space Dust. It's a sweet IPA.
Oh, so
I love
good.
that one.
Yeah.
It's a really good IPA.
So good. Right?
and they do several other beers that are really, really good. They're an Ambev. They're an Anheuser-Busch company too. And Anheuser-Busch, to their credit, they've left Elysian alone.
They have.
They pretty much do their own thing, and they haven't touched it, which is really, really nice. I can see that. I mean, I honestly, I guess, well, okay, Goose Island still does their own thing. I think Founders does. Actually, I think Founders is Modelo, but it's nice to see that Anheuser-Busch didn't screw it up. So they
left it to the brewers. Yeah. Yep.
Did you call a sex beer on that or no?
I did not.
Tabby's asking.
I know. I know. I didn't call sex beer only because, well, maybe this is really bad reasoning on my part, but only because I've had this one before, and so this is more of like a side piece. Like I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be consistently really good sex. She knows what I like. I know what she likes, but it's not new. It's not novel. So it's not quite a sex beer level. I just knew what I was getting with this one.
Hey, there's, tried and true. That's important.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg came clean this week, Fitz.
Yeah.
He came clean and said that we dealt in election interference. It happened.
This piece to me was kind of the oddest news story of the week, and not from the sense of that it was surprising. I mean, we all knew, right? I mean, there were inklings. He did a couple of podcasts where he basically admitted this already. The odd thing to me about this was that he admitted that it happened, but then he said he regretted not resisting it. he said, I should have resisted it. And I see, when I picture Zuckerberg in my head, I picture him as like a small little, like gingerbread cookie man. He's like a paper person. He's not. Yeah. Oh, I better run.
I'm sorry.
Oh no. Yeah. And for him to come out and be like, yeah, I probably should have resisted. Now I actually see him as a young man who had an exorbitant amount of power and didn't really understand what that power meant, and he learned from it. And so maybe his balls actually dropped a little bit on this one. I don't know. I just it seemed to be a nice amount of humility that he could admit that, like, yeah, dude, I was fucking wrong. I should have resisted that the whole way. I'm not saying I respect the guy. I'm saying that I would be open to respecting him in the future if he continued this line of reasoning. That's all I'm saying. But it did surprise me. I didn't see this coming at all.
So here's the thing, right? So we've gotten a few weeks ago, we talked about how England was just getting hammered because of all the again, immigrant violence, and people calling for rebellion, basically, and suddenly getting put in jail because they said it on social media.
Yep.
Then last weekend we talked about Telegram, the Telegram CEO. He was thrown in jail in France. Yep. He's out now on $5 million
yep,
bail.
French got him. Yep.
And he's facing a very difficult road, I think, unless he just goes, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Well, because it's France. Right. He needs to find like a fucking consulate to hold up in for the next 10 years, like Assange.
And it's interesting how the dominoes are falling, because this week also, on top of Zuckerberg's admittance, we also have Brazil, who's now banning X.
Okay. This
we have a trend here.
Wild. It's wild.
And we'll get into that deeper. We totally will.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I go ahead and look at everything that's happened over the last few weeks, last couple of months, really, and then we come to Zuckerberg's admittance here, I see this more as, please, for the love of God, don't put me in jail. I'm just going to cop to it. Here it is. Okay, I didn't realize how the gravity of it. Let me read a statement here. In 2021, senior officials from Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that the benefit of hindsight and new information we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Okay, so we're in election season, so let's keep that in mind. Here's another bit from him. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election, which has since been proven as this was all true. It was Russian. Yep. It wasn't Russian disinformation. The laptop was real. Burisma was a thing. Yep. All of this was real.
Yep.
That fall, when we saw a New York Post story, now let that sink in. It's a New York Post. All right. We joke about the New York Post being kind of hinky, and this is the kind of stuff that's actually getting notoriety here. Reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family. We sent the story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We're changing our policies and processes to make sure that it doesn't happen again. For instance, we'll no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers. Keep in mind, who's doing the fact checking?
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's the part because in chat, there's some valid points made that he's just trying to CYA, right? In case Trump gets elected, or as you said, McShane, so he doesn't get thrown in jail like these other people are being. And I think that's all true. I think you're all right. I think that's probably a very strong motivator. But I also want to say that other than Elon Musk, he's the only other one doing this and saying this. So yes, the motivations might be coming from a place of weakness, but the end result will be a positive overall effect that if a major social media company like this, that their founder, their head is saying, hey, we're not going to participate in this kind of shit anymore. That's an overall good thing. I think that we can all say that that's whatever the motivation. Maybe he's scared. Fine. Then he got pressured by the rest of us to do the right thing. And I think that's the ultimate goal, is that we want to get back to a place of, free speech where we can say what we want to say and not fear persecution for that. Sans, a couple of categories where you're, openly threatening someone, or you're advocating for the shooting up a school or something. We all, of course, reasonable people, we know that that's not okay, but everything else, we should be allowed to have a discourse on whatever platform is available to us. And so I totally agree. I'm not saying I don't want to fight the guy. I definitely still want to fight him, and with no gloves and no mouth guards. Like, I just want to fuck him up. But at the end of it, I may actually take him out and buy him a beer, because he's at least jumping on the right side of history here. I hope. And he's not in clown world anymore. He's waking up to the reality that maybe he got manipulated. And listen, we've all been there. We've all been young and stupid. We've all been manipulated by a woman or a man or a political movement or a fucking library card that said you owed late fees. We've all been there. And so I'm willing to give him a slight pass here. I'm just saying that we need to take this with a little bit of caution too, for sure.
$400 million is what he spent on the last election in the Getting Out the Vote campaign. All of that money in the 2020 election, all of that money went to hardcore left-wing
groups. For sure. Democrat. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Not denying that at all.
Okay, if he comes through and there's less censorship, he lets Tabby back on the platform, because she got kicked off. I'm sure she was doing nothing but good things, very fine things. As long if he toes the line, great. If he's a champion for free speech, fucking awesome. If this is a new him, I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. I just can't do it. But we'll have to see how the next few months goes. Nobody's complaining about Facebook right now. I haven't heard anything that's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go on it either, though. So that's the other end of that. The UAE.
Dude, I was just gonna say, I did my monthly check-in on Facebook. I mean, literally once a month, maybe I go on there, and somehow I got this weird algorithm of these women who they're quoting something. I don't know if she was a comedian or it's a line from a movie, but they all like try and mouth the words from the same woman. So it's like different women, but it's all the same voice. And then she's like, hey, you look really thirsty. And I don't have any water, but I do have this. And then like, oops, their camera slips and you get to see their vagina. I have like 7 or 8 of those videos on my, I was going through and I'm like, why are these all coming up on my timeline? What did somebody hijack my account?
My algorithm's awesome. I mean, wait,
dude. And I'm seriously, if I had purposefully gone and looked at one of those videos, I would totally admit it here. I'm not ashamed of that. I like seeing women's vaginas. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't know what initiated that algorithm, because it wasn't me. I mean, I'm not complaining that it's there, but I don't know how it got there. It was really weird. So we'll see what comes up next month. Maybe we need to have like a Fitz's, Facebook algorithm update, because every month it seems to be something new and something very bizarre. Maybe they're just trying to capture my attention. I don't know. Like, come back to Facebook. Look at all the vaginas. I don't know. But it was really weird because that's what came up this month. And last month it was baseball videos. And I don't really particularly like baseball. So I don't know. Weird.
Facebook book vaginas and baseball. You got an interesting algorithm. My algorithm isn't like that. Mine's
what is your show?
Let's see. So Instagram, because I don't go on Facebook at all. If I'm on Instagram, which is still Facebook owned, mine is this is gonna be bad. A lot of midgets dancing.
See, but that makes sense because I know you like that kind of thing. Or at least
I do. I find it funny, and then I send it to Aaron.
Yeah.
And just it's horribly inappropriate, really funny, dark humor. That's
Aaron's like, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Yes, I particularly enjoyed the Paralympics today, where the swimmer, the Chinese swimmer, the human torpedo. How does he not?
Dude,
how does he not win? To set it up for everybody, you've got this. Yeah. You've got I don't know what swimming event it was, but
it's a freestyle.
Paralympics. Was it a freestyle?
It's 400 meter freestyle. Well, it has to be because the guy doesn't have arms, but
he doesn't have arms.
Other players have arms, so it's like freestyle. It's like however you can get there, get there.
And he's going through. He's killing the field, absolutely killing the field. And finally, this guy catches up who does have arms, and he touches the wall before this Chinese guy does. Well, the Chinese guy doesn't have arms. He's just kicking. He's a human torpedo.
Yeah.
And he has to run into the wall with his head in order to touch the wall.
He just rams it. He's a human battering ram.
So unfair. That guy, I would have a beer with that guy. I would help him drink a beer.
Dude.
I would hold the beer for him.
Yeah, and I'd get him a sippy cup. Oh yeah.
That guy's hardcore.
Dude,
I'm
with you. And dude, did you see his head? After he hit the wall, there was no blood. There was not even a bump. Like he must do that 100 times a day. I don't.
Does he use his teeth?
No, he just dolphins it. He just like, and he just like flips right up out of the pool. He's just out. I don't know, dude. I was wondering that too. Like, is there a ramp for him to just like slide up like Shamu? I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. So do you think they
pull
him out by his head? They have to pull him out by his head. There's nothing else to grab onto.
Someplace.
I'm gonna choke you, and as they pull him out of the pool, he's like, harder.
Come on, little buddy.
Like choke me harder.
Hey, Hefe.
Oh, hey, Hefe.
How does the Chinese swimmer get out of the pool when he doesn't have any arms?
He uses his asshole.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Is that
his asshole? His asshole?
Asshole.
Did you just... Jesus.
To propel himself out of the pool.
That's racist.
Hefe, we've been trying to tell everybody all night how unracist we are.
Wow, that might be the most crude thing we've ever had on here. And I was trying to segue to the rapey dolphin, but I wanted to go back to the X being blocked in Brazil. But now that we've got Hefe here, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, it's a shitty night so far, but remember the other dealer named Jeff?
Yeah.
Nobody likes that guy. As a matter of fact, everybody fucking hates him. He's a total dick. And it's just weird having the same name as him. I don't know. I don't like being associated with him in that way.
You're good, Jeff. He's bad, Jeff. Tell him to change his fucking name.
No, that's really how it is.
No. You're Hefe. He is not. He will never be a Hefe.
Oh no, never.
He's Jeff.
Just Jeff.
Just Jeff. You ready for the you ready for the farm report?
I'm ready. Yeah, you guys ready?
Oh shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'm about to get ready. Let me lube up. Hold on. Okay.
Okay. Steve, do you have my drum roll? I've got a.
That's fantastic.
That is so above and beyond what I was expecting. Okay, we have a top 6 list here.
Yes.
Top six.
Old David Letterman.
Top 6.
Like old David Letterman.
Top
Yep,
6.
Yep.
All right. Top
Okay.
6
All right.
list.
So this is the top 6 things. Now, when I say this, everyone's going to roll their eyes and be like, "Oh God, this is going to be the shittiest, most boring list ever." But buckle the hell up, okay? This is the top 6 things farmers
I'm so angry
do.
and I'd love it.
Farmers do in their free time.
Oh. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Fuck yeah.
This is going to blow you away, unless you fall asleep. Here we go. Number 6. Attempt to predict the weather. Number 5.
Nice.
Try to figure out the latest technology, which I love that one. It's like they're elderly or something.
What the hell? What kind of technology?
Who's this guy called GPS? And how does he drive tractors?
Number 4. Read and learn more about farming. Number 3. Hang out with their kids and grandkids. Number 2. Talk with other farmers. And number 1. Bet on sports with the help of Hefe's Handicapping. Use Hefe's Handicapping to bet on sports. Hefe's Handicapping. Want to bet on the game? Remember the name. Hefe's Handicapping.
You.
It was only a top. It was only a top 5 list. I added one in there if you guys didn't.
Wait, which one? Which one did you add?
The last one. They don't bet on sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, maybe they do. I don't know.
That confused me.
What the hell?
Oh, that's so good.
God, I feel like we just got rickrolled. That's what happened there. We totally got rickrolled. That's what that was. Oh my God, I did not see that coming.
Oh, me either. Well done, Hefe, because it's hard to it's hard to, fuck me in the ass. But but you, sir, you did it.
That was a real top 5 list, though. Before that was a legit list. I was like, oh my God, these poor men and women. That's what you do in your free time.
Yeah, but they're feeding the world, dude. Like that's
True.
that's the pressure.
That's true. Do you know what the average farmer in the U.S. makes?
Oh yeah, probably well, wait, hold on. Before expenses or after expenses?
It's just salary. This was going to be another farm report, but we'll just extend.
I'm gonna say 175 grand.
Shane.
So for one farmer on his farm, that's what we're saying.
Yeah. Fitz was a little high.
Let's say 110,000.
McShane's a little high.
Wow.
64,000.
Oh wow.
Wow. It makes you wonder how they can even survive. Now, is that subsidized or unsubsidized?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I know the farmers that I know that are in my family, they're in the high 6 figures. But they have all these subsidies coming in. Like, some of them get paid not to farm on how much land they have, because if you farm it all, then like a box of Chex cereal would be 79 cents, and you can't have that. So they have to.
We don't want that.
No, you have to limit how much product there is so that you can raise prices and everybody makes money. So, I mean, several of them get paid to not farm on some of their land. So yeah, that's crazy.
That's an interesting segue, actually. So, one dietitian is speaking up for ultra processed foods. Did you guys read this?
Great.
So,
I read it. I read it, and I read it.
The narrative here is this. Okay, last week, RFK had his coming out party for going for Trump.
Right.
And he absolutely went scorched earth on processed food, as he should have been. Processed food is terrible. Went absolute scorched earth. And on the 28th of August, Time puts out this obviously absolutely bullshit article that's all about how ultra processed food is actually not bad for you. And it's one dietitian that's speaking to it. This is how the mainstream media uses their power. And it's so frustrating. So frustrating.
It's terrible.
Time and Newsweek are the absolute, they're absolute trash. Absolute trash.
I think if you're wanting a good laugh or a good fuck you government, that's a great article to read, because you walk away from it just I was just angry. It's like how can they actually peddle this shit and the problem is people are out there believing it. People are out there reading this and going, oh my God, this shit's not bad for me. Like, yogurt covered pretzels. What? That's not bad for me. Great. I'm going to eat a pound of them today from Costco.
Didn't the FDA do something like that like a year ago? They had like frosted mini wheats above.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, they did.
And it's all paid for by all of those companies. They've totally taken the food pyramid and completely jacked it up, making sure that anything that is good for you, meat, red meat, eggs, salt, dairy, and they bastardize it, saying that everything that is processed by companies, that's the good stuff. It's bizarre. That's where we are, but it's paid for. It's bought and paid for.
Let's go back to who actually invented and came up with the food pyramid in the first place, which was, drumroll, the sugar companies. Processed sugar companies. They paid for studies to say that cholesterol and fats were bad and they were the cause of all evil, and carbohydrates and sugars were the basis for the American diet, so that they could sell more of their shit. That's exactly how that happened. There's no dispute about that. You can go back and look at the studies, and just now we're discovering, or not discovering, but rediscovering and finding out that a pound of bacon a week is actually a good thing for your heart. It's a good thing for your brain. It's a good thing for your arteries. That's why farmers have been eating it since the fucking creation of farms. And that's why they live to 85 and work until the day they die. But yeah, sure. Yeah. If you want to believe this Time article, that processed foods are actually good for you, good luck with that. And I'll see you in a nursing home in 20 years.
I like how Fitz doesn't get a real drum roll. Just say drum roll.
Oh yeah. No, I just say it. And you know what? It's cool. It went off in my head, which made it more dramatic for me, but not for the audience.
I wasn't. I wasn't quick enough on it. I thought about it, but I didn't.
Maybe you could go back and post, McShane.
Okay.
Edit it in.
No.
Just let it.
It's
hang.
way better to not do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, along those same lines, let's go ahead and pivot to how bad cooking is for you. Too tired to cook after work? Nearly 80% of Americans are, and some pass out while making food.
Oh my God.
The war on cooking has begun. What do we like to do, kids? Where's the narrative? Who's paying for it? 8 in 10 Americans are too tired to cook for themselves a meal after work. According to new research, the survey 2,000 general population Americans revealed 77% admit there are days where after work they're too exhausted to cook, and a fifth of respondents have been so tired while trying to cook they've actually fallen asleep while making their food. The research, conducted by Talker Research and commissioned by Kevin's Natural Foods. Let's look at who. Oh, Kevin's Natural Foods.
Oh.
Look at this. You can go ahead and order their meals online, guys. Look at this.
Shocking.
Marinated meats, frozen bowls, lots of sides and sauces, soups and pastas. Same fucking thing that those sugar companies did, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's commission a
100%.
study. Go out there and find us a cause, and we'll go ahead and sell to it. Pretty fucking sweet, huh?
I guess that's how you make money around here.
I've never fallen asleep by cooking. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever heard.
Okay, Hefe just posted his thumb penis.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to
look like a penis.
I couldn't figure out how to do it in the chat.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna forward it for those of you who are listening from the first part of the show. Hefe has a thumb penis.
Oh shit! Oh, that's way more than my finger. That's a definite cock.
That's a thumb. That's a thumb cock. That's a cock thumb.
Oh yeah. That blood spot's in the perfect place.
It's like
that's so
cuticle down there. It's like the
dude.
Like the head.
Oh my god, dude! You
tell me
you need to make videos of you jerking that off.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm leaving present company and chat out of this, but you've probably that thumb cock is like ribbed for her pleasure, somebody's pleasure.
Oh yeah!
Look at that thing. Look at that beast.
Yeah.
Look at that
Dude,
monster.
It's
Good
legit.
God.
It's legit.
Hey, Hefe, would you have any objection to me just using that for show art?
No. Hell no.
All right. We
that's gonna get so many clicks. Just put on there Hefe's body parts. Because that's accurate. That's true.
Hefe's thumb dildo. Look at that thing. It's like that's like an upside down Snickers bar. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, it does remind me of the croissant cock that Beard displays every once in a while.
Like if I tried to make something like my thumb looks like a penis, I couldn't do a better job, and I accidentally did that.
Oh no, I mean it literally looks like you took a Sharpie and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make this look like a dick."
This is the quality entertainment our listeners come for.
Well, that's why they keep coming back, man. Literally.
Literally and figuratively. Thank you very much.
Just try to stay away.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Hey, if you go to Japan, make sure you watch out for rapey dolphins. That's a thing.
Yeah. Literally, this thing.
Horny lonely dolphin blamed for attacks in Japan on beachgoers.
First of all, my question was, when I read this article, are you sure it's the same dolphin? Because I mean, I'm just saying, there's like twins out there. There's things that happen. Maybe it's several dolphins that, because we're not really good. I mean, most people are not good about differentiating faces from other races. Like, to some people, like all Asians look the same. So how do we know this is a different dolphin? It could be several different dolphins all raping different people. I'm just saying. Maybe it's not the same.
45 times.
Like a rapey game.
45. Yes, exactly.
Dolphins, when they're mating, can be very wild. Adding that dolphins lunging on top of a human could be a sexual act. And that this particular dolphin was seemingly a horny, lonely dolphin. How do they know he is lonely?
Maybe he's just
I
aggressive.
get the horny. Yeah, I mean, he could have just been like, wow, she's hot, or he's hot, whatever.
Yeah, and where's the sacrificial lamb? Like, if somebody had just taken the time to jerk this poor guy off, he would have gone away. But no, everyone's like, ew, get him off of me, ew. And then now he's going to keep coming back.
All right, on that note, I got to go.
Hey, that's a good time for you to go.
That's a perfect spot. All right, man.
You guys have a good
thanks
night.
Thanks for that farm report. You too.
My pleasure. All right, see it.
Hey, you know about McShane, about the bizarre dolphin experiments that were done back in the 60s of I can't remember the guy's name, but he was given the dolphins LSD through the water and stuff, and then the one female doctor got really close with this dolphin, and they actually started having sexual relations, and so the whole thing got killed. But like, she was like, every day she had a house, an apartment that was kind of set up, but it was half water, half not. And so the dolphin could swim into any room that she was in, and they actually, bonded, and they became intimate, and it all got called off. But the whole point of his study was that, like, dolphins and humans could co-inhabit the same space and, like, exchange knowledge. Like, dolphins know shit we don't, and we know shit they don't, and we could learn from each other. But once they had this ritual where she would pleasure him every day, and it became a thing where he would just, like, expect it, and he got kind of a little bit violent with her, so they called off the whole thing. But it does, the reason
I wonder why
it does, beg the question, like, could there be some future colony where dolphins and humans could coexist, and maybe there's even some hybrid dolphin human babies. And I'm only laughing because I don't know if they would have fins for feet or dolphin heads for human heads. Like, I don't know which parts would be exchanged, but I don't know. I mean, that shit's been done, and it's someday. I
never ever saw Tonight going on this road.
Me either, but you put the story in, man, so it's your fault.
I did. It is my fault. It is my fault. And let us not forget, dolphins are one of the few mammals that actually have sex for fun.
Yeah,
so
and they play with their food. They also have names for each other. Yep. They have a whole language.
They're very incredibly intelligent. So don't fuck with dolphins, and don't fuck with this guy.
And they also rape.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
All right. So rapey dolphins just became one of our.
Dude, this show could go anywhere. It'll depend on what you like. When you listen tomorrow, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's definitely that. But
we still haven't gotten to X being blocked in Brazil, and we have Kamala failing at CNN. Where do you want to go?
God. Let's go, Kamala. Can we just humiliate her for a little bit? Because I feel like she is asking for it. Not to go off the rapist thing, but she's definitely asking.
No, she's been shitty this week.
She's
so we
an
should totally
idiot.
get into it. So,
41-minute
interview. Okay, 41-minute interview, and she's got her emotional support communist white guy, middle-aged white guy, with her. 41-minute interview.
Maybe
they
he's
were only. No, dolphins are way cooler than this fuck.
Well, that's true. Good point.
They were only able to show 18 minutes of it because she failed so hard.
Oh my God.
And she looks a little cracked out in the interview.
Yeah.
Like she looks physically old.
She looks hard
in the interview.
Yeah. She's been ridden hard. Yeah.
Yes. It looks like she's done a couple 8 balls, and she's been spent way too much time in the back alley. Yeah, she's maybe reliving the old days. I don't know. I'm just here to talk about it. I have no idea what's going on. But it is interesting.
How dare you, sir?
You're right. How dare me? Trump's last 4 interviews: 57 minutes on Dr. Phil, 57 minutes on Theo Vaughn, 2 hours and 3 minutes on Elon Musk, 1 hour on and 11 minutes on Sean Ryan's show. Kamala's first interview was 40 days as a Democratic nominee. 18 minutes. It was all edited. CNN even fucked up and said this is a live record. This is live, and
yes,
it was
and they got fucked. Yeah,
recorded, and they totally took the heat on that one. She's just a fucking train wreck.
Yeah,
and
really
I have to think at this point, I still am at the point where this has to be a joke. They can't actually be thinking that this person they're going to actually run this person. I know I had to pull back what I said last week because I was completely wrong. She didn't get ousted of the DNC. Now I'm hoping maybe, I don't even know if it's a hope. I just think it's going to happen. It's an October surprise where she gets rolled. I don't know.
I don't think so. Dude, I don't think so. I think that they are legitimately going to try and make us believe that she can do this.
She still hasn't posted any position papers. She has nothing.
Nothing
online.
No.
I want to build an opportunity economy. Do you? What the fuck is that?
Dude,
Tell me what an opportunity economy is.
She was asked a couple of questions, and it's like her answers were, all she does is talk around the issue. She never answers anything directly, ever. She's well coached in that way, but unreal. Unbelievable.
Here's CNN backpedaling.
Move the ball that much forward. I don't think there's a policy separation that they've created with Biden. Obviously, she gave a kind of personal defense of him.
Now, you might not like the way she answered him, but she answered him as a capable, qualified leader. And I do think she moved the ball forward a little bit. Maybe she didn't score a touchdown.
I think the two biggest issues coming out of Biden for her are the economic policies, which she clearly wants to embrace, but also the immigration policies. Dana asked her if she had anything to say about what they did for 3.5 years leading up until the back and forth this year. Completely sidestepped it, did not answer it. She goes back to her time as Attorney General. But again, absolutely nothing, no responsibility, no reflection at all on the day one executive actions or anything else they did for 3.5 years or anything she said in her previous campaign, which was to have the most permissive immigration structure. She's trying to skip a block of time at the debate. Trump cannot allow it.
She also, two things are coming back up over and over and over again about this debate that's coming up. She does not want to debate. Let's be very, very clear. Nope. She does not want to debate.
Nope.
She doesn't want to have to. She wants to be able to get note cards, and she wants open mics. So, unless she gets her way, she's going to bounce out of the debate. And right now, it's just a game of chicken.
Well, dude, we're almost in September. I mean, tomorrow's September.
Right.
By the time you all listen to this, it'll be September. And there's been zero presidential debates other than the sham that was the Biden debate, which was the earliest ever, which was totally orchestrated to get him out. And now that it comes to like crunch time, like, hey, let's hear what you have to say in the next, 70 days or whatever we have till the election. Might even be less than that now. And yeah, she's putting all these stipulations. Well, her party, her handlers are putting all these stipulations on what the debate can be, what it can't be. She's not going to fucking debate. She won't, because she'll get crushed.
Well, here's a minute and 45 seconds. Just here's her answer. Specific question on day one.
If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation. And I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
So many things on day one, and nothing about how we're going to do it.
Nope. No, and nothing about the immigrant problem, nothing about fucking World War fucking III, nothing about Russia, nothing about Ukraine, nothing about China, nothing about Iran, nothing about Israel, nothing about, because by the way, all that's still going on. I know we haven't covered it in our show in the past couple weeks, but that's because the news is telling you what to think, so that all that shit's not actually happening anymore. Even though people are fucking fighting and dying right now as we speak. But there's none of that in her ridiculous speech. Nothing about how she's going to make any of that happen. No specifics. Unbelievable. I mean, the people are buying this shit is so absurd to me. In fact, now when I'm on X and I see somebody who's like, hey, Kamala's polling great and Trump's polling badly, who's with me? I'm like, you're a fucking bot. You're a fucking bot. You're a fucking bot. All you are fucking bots. There's no way anyone can look at her, listen to her, and think, yeah, she's our guy. She's the person that's going to lead us into the next decade. Fuck you. No, she's not. There's no possible way.
Aaron in chat, she was this bad with a friendly interviewer, literally lobbing her softball questions with the answers right in front of her. Beard, just about the only specific she said so far is copying Trump's tips, policy, and huge tax increases. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And let's not forget their communist indications too. You know, she wants price controls. Nobody should let her off the hook for that. She is a fucking communist. And so is her right wing, her little left wing plaything, walls.
I've heard a lot of arguments as to why, you know, Trump can't be allowed back in office. And I'm not here to delegitimize any of those at all. What I am here to say is that the one thing you can say about Trump that none of the other side can say, Kamala, Biden, even back to, you know, Barack, none of them can say that Trump can absolutely 100% say and stand by is that I do not want communism in this country. Trump can say that. Nobody else can. No one. And so, you know, I'm not saying we have to go back to McCarthyism. I'm not saying we're back in the fucking 40s and 50s. But I'm saying you're either communist or you're not. And if you want to go ahead and check out the record for the communists in the last 120 to 140 years, go for it. Please let me know. Where has it been successful? Where?
It never has been.
And it never has been. And in fact, none of the communist policies that our politicians, and I'm not even going to say Democrats, because there's some Republicans out there, some rhinos who've definitely voted for some communist shit. I'd like you to point to any of those that have worked out well. Any of those that have said, hey, little economically disadvantaged person. And I won't even say what race, because we all know what the undertones of that are. we're just going to say overreaching. Economically disadvantaged person, don't worry about it. I'm going to pat you on the afro, and I'm going to say it's okay. We'll take care of you. Don't worry about getting that job. Don't worry about getting a better job than McDonald's. Just go ahead and keep that job. We'll take care of everything else. We'll get you on welfare. We'll get you a house. We'll buy you a fucking car. We'll get you a fucking cell phone, Obama phones. We'll fucking, hey, come across the border. We'll get you all of that for free. Don't worry about it. We got you. And there is something so, it's so offensive to me. If anybody ever pats me on the fucking head and says, hey, we'll take care of you, I'm done. Either they're dying or I'm dying. I'm not taking that road. I don't want an easy life. I want to earn what I have, and I want to be proud of it. And everybody I know feels the same way. And that's really where it comes down to. Either you're with people earning their way in this world, or you're saying those who have more should give to those who can't. Well, then fuck off. Because we're on different sides of the aisle. Period. And
Beard
now
makes
I'm
a good
off my
really
soapbox.
Beard makes a good point in chat. It's more than just communism, it's Marxism.
Yeah.
That's why so
true.
much media and entertainment is the way it is today. Marxism loves manipulating culture in addition to stealing your money and your freedom. It really is. It really is. And you can look at in a prime example, Ben Stiller. Absolutely pandering to the left. How many comedians, quote unquote comedians, came out for Kamala? Now, if you look at everybody who's in there, these are guys who haven't been like important in years. The whole white guy for Kamala movement.
Yeah.
You've got tons of actors coming out. Sean Astin. When was the last time he did anything relevant?
Hey, who gives a shit?
Well, but
I'll
you can
you,
tell that they all got their orders. Hey, get out there, manipulate the message, championship this, and I guarantee you, as long as he's a good boy, as long as they're all following orders, they're going to get a screen deal.
Yep.
When was the last time Ben Stiller worked?
Or they get the fucking Tonight Show. I mean, I'll let Stephen Colbert. You know, hey, listen, you toe the party line, you get this sweet gig. It's not the fucking Chappelles. It's not the Sean Gillises. It's not Joe Rogan. It's not these comedians who are out there actually telling the fucking truth. It's these people who are willing to give up their soul in order to get the cush job, the gig that takes care of them for the rest of their lives. And we all can see it. I mean, it's so, I mean, I used to love Colbert when he was part of the Daily Show. I mean, we've talked about that before. So many of these comedians.
Fantastic.
I loved so many of them.
Then he sold out.
And then they sold out, and we all see it. We see who you are, Steven, and you're a fucking sellout. And we can't respect that. None of us will. And then you have the others who are like, hey, comedy is supposed to be about offending some people because otherwise it's not funny. And I mean, so that's the camp I'm in. And it is, you're right, Beard. It's 100% Marxism, and that's a failed philosophy. We all know it. And they're trying to sell it to us again. And we're not going to buy it.
So before we wrap things up, I want to do something a little different from most shows. And I think we may go and continue this. Things to watch out for. We'll get into X being blocked. I think that's going to blossom a little bit. You guys need to go out. Look at go to X and go to @Alexandre ALEXANDRE files. What X is doing here is they are actually throwing out all of the stuff that this Brazilian Supreme Court judge requested of X, because he was requesting that they shut down several accounts, censor them.
Yep.
So
only
they're
the
taking
ones that were critical of the government.
Exactly. So X is taking all of these requests because they said, hey, you do this secretly. All right? Don't tell me what we're doing, that you're going to do this, right? Just make hush hush between us. Censor these guys. Follow that.
A la Facebook, Zuckerberg. Yep.
X is banned now in Brazil, so X is turning around and they're weaponizing their X that X feed, and they're going to go and dump everything that guy has seen.
Great feed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that. We've also seen a lot of attempts at shitting on the Constitution lately. Law school dean wants to scrap the Constitution. This was a MSNBC conversation that ended up happening. We won't get into it because I don't think I have a clip for it, but this is another narrative that looks like it's starting to come up.
I was just
might
going
be
to
a little
say,
bit of a call.
Yeah, it wasn't just this clip. I've seen, I believe it was the New York Times. Might have been,
You know
but
Well,
they
New
were
York
like,
Times
hey,
had one also. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was that one that was like, hey, the Constitution is outdated. We need to scrap it. Like, not just modify it. They wanted to scrap it and start over. Unbelievable.
So I looked into that one though, and I don't like how the right wing was kind of weaponizing that, because if you went back and read the New York Times article, it was talking about the book, which was really just saying was really just putting out the argument of why politicians are afraid of it at this point. So, but it still fits into that whole genre. And yeah, I think I have a clip. Let's go ahead and play this one clip here, because this is Morning Joe, which is an absolute dumpster fire of a show.
The most consequential elections in American history. The political divide is wide, with both sides of the aisle believing a win for their opponent could doom the country. But the dean of Berkeley Law School argues it's not just politics, but America's founding document, the Constitution, that needs a bit of an overhaul. Joining us now is Dean Erwin Chemerinsky. His new book is titled No Democracy Lasts Forever: How the Constitution Threatens the United States. Dean Chemerinsky, thanks for being with us this morning. So how, in your view, does the Constitution that this country was built on and has been for nearly 250 years is a threat, actually, to the country?
Choices that were made in adopting the Constitution have come to haunt us. The Electoral College increasingly is choosing the president who lost the popular vote. 2 senators per state is undermining democracy. In the last session of Congress, there were 50 Democratic senators and 50 Republican senators, but the 50 Democratic senators represented 42 million people. Life tenure for Supreme Court justices is increasingly problematic. For much of American history, the tenure for Supreme Court justice was an average of 15 years. Since 1970, it's been 27 years. All of these are choices made in 1787, but they become much more salient in recent years.
It's a 5-minute long clip. I'm not going to get into it, all of it, but
oh my God,
this
what a
is
fucking moron.
A theme. This is a theme, though, and this is from Berkeley. Let's remember, this is from Berkeley. Okay, he's from Berkeley.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main thing. Yeah.
So this is a new narrative that's starting to pop up. So it'll be very interesting to see if we're going to get into this. We need to get rid of the Constitution, which actually goes along with.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, which actually goes along with a lot of things you're seeing in the EU and a lot of things you're seeing in Brazil. Just totally ignoring the piece of paper that actually represents the people of the country. And I'm sorry, everybody. Politicians and the government should fear the people, and the Constitution is the people.
They should work for us, not against us. That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, you could just hear him reading off of talking points.
Oh yeah,
most of which weren't true, you know.
And he was just happy to be there. I'm sure he was just happy to be in the Morning Joe.
Oh yeah. 100%. And I mean, we can do a whole show on the Electoral College. Maybe we should do a Whiskey Hell Extra on the Electoral College and sort of why it's there, why it's still relevant. Because this is the whole narrative, right? It's not relevant anymore. It's hurting democracy. And I listen.
Flips.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, I used to be in the party of like, hey, the Electoral College is like hurting us. But that's before I actually knew, where it came from, why it was introduced, why it was ratified several times, and how we got to where we are now. Now, is that to say that I believe in the Electoral College process? No, I do not. Clearly, I don't, because I think the last election and possibly the last several elections were all manipulated through the Electoral College. I'm not sure that we've had a legitimate election since the hanging chads of, what was that, 2000?
That was Al Gore and G-Dub
and
2.
Bush. Yeah. And so I'm not sure we've had a legit, like, actually where my vote counts towards the Electoral College process. I'm not convinced we've had a legit election since then. And listen, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope that everybody we've had in office has been the will of the people. I don't believe that. I don't think any of you truly believe that either, if you really look into your hearts. And so look, on the surface, or like, no, not on the surface, at the root of it, I think the Electoral College is a sound idea, and I understand why it's part of the Constitution in the very vague sense that they wrote it in, not to the effect it is today, but what it is today is not what the founders intended. And that part really does need a ratification, because otherwise we're all going to be bamboozled into thinking that whoever won is actually the right choice. And I'm not sure that's true anymore. So anyway, that might be a discussion for a future show. That's all I'm saying.
What beer are you taking to bed, Fitz?
Oh God. You know what's hard about this one is because I picked one that I know I love, the Elysian Dark of the Moon. It's one of my favorites every year when it comes out. It's only kind of a one time a year thing, but that cookie butter beer,
Winner.
Bro, so good and so surprising. And so unique. I've never had anything like it. I'm taking the blonde to bed, and
nice.
And dude, I might even spend a few weeks with her.
Ooh,
this could be a side piece. Oh yeah.
Oh,
she's
all right.
She was that good, super good.
Nice.
So yeah, that's who I'm taking about. How about you?
This one's tough because I love both beers. But I seriously, Trainwreck by King's Brewing.
Yes.
The Froze. I'm going to take that one because I want to buy a lot of those and just break it out when I want a quenching summer goes that's not, it doesn't have any of the acidity that comes along with a lot of those. This is just really, really pleasant and fruity. And I love both beers, but I want more of the Trainwreck.
Hey, do you think if you popped one of those open in like, middle of February, you think you'd be like, oh shit, I'm right back to summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could drink this year round.
I love beers like that. Like, cause I mean, that's how I am with the Dark of the Moon. If I pop that open in, June, I'd be like, oh shit, it's fall for a day. There's just some beers, some flavors, some essences. Wow. That was a hard word. Essences that can take you to a place. And it's like the sound, the smell, the taste. And these beers are like all about the smell and the taste. And it could take you to a place in a time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We appreciate you guys listening. Thank you to Buttercup Beard, Lisa L, Tabby, Mike, Aaron, Jay. Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Am I missing somebody? Who am I missing, Fitz?
Hefe.
Hefe? Well, always, yeah. Hefe in that fucking drum roll. Thank you guys for listening and being in chat. If you want to reach out to us, it is whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. Follow us at whiskey_hell on X. Whiskeyhellpod.com is going to be the website for all of our goodness throughout the week. Okay, Mike, I'll make sure I turn on your audio after the show. When is your audio not on, dude? Thanks for listening. I am Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.